So as you can see, you go different commentaries of this sutra. Many masters focus on the first 6 chapters, including our masters. Our masters talk in New York stop at chapter 6. And then after that, actually, it's very important in the way that it's more down to earth, down to the current situation of all of us here, and how we can observe what Buddha taught in the previous chapters about the 6 objects, 6 faculties, 6 consciousness, the 4 elements, and the voidness, etc. And how this change that we can observe. So I quickly summarize the 25 methods to Buddhahood, chapter 5 and 6 that I talk about. And this is what Buddha talk about in chapter 2. Very important, why this world exists, the sequential process. And this is when Buddha mentioned this when in the chapter 2, when he tried to point out the 10 aspects of the true mind. Okay, you can constantly go back to this paragraph. It's Washington Fashi say we can just memorize this state. Okay, so you see this, we are originally in the luminous enlightenment state, but then there is a point that we wanted to see something, then it becomes an unluminous state. And this unluminous state becomes a void space. And in this voidness, the darkness will aggregate into form, which means 4 elements. Okay, so from this process, this physical world exists because the 4 elements form. And then when the 4 elements combined with diluted thinking, it leads to the appearance of the body. Now, from the existence of the environment, now our body exists. Okay, so the physical elements combined with the mind, diluted thinking now, then sentient beings exist. Then thereafter, the causes start accumulating to disturb within. Okay, our diluted thinking get elaborated with a lot of things, and the grasping get wild to chase without, from inside to outside right now. Now we created a lot of karma, and it become our karmic retribution. So for the appearance of such luminous trembling conditions, you take it as the nature of your mind. Okay, so now we convinced that our body exists and our mind exists, which the body is come from the 4 elements. And our so-called mind is actually come from our inside deluded thought, grasping the outside object and the process in and out. This mental activity we think is our mind, but actually it's not. Okay, so now this is a sequential. So originally we are Buddha. We have a Buddha nature. Then because this unluminous state, we generate a concept of voidness. And then the 4 elements form, right? The first paragraph. The second paragraph, then our deluded thinking, discriminated mind, which is called consciousness, and combined with the 4 elements, then we have a body, 6 faculties. And then thereafter, when we try to grasp the things outside, and it's called grasp the objects, 6 objects outside, then we divided our mind. Okay, so I point out this is because the 25 methods to enlightenment just try to help us reverse this process, because this is the process from we are Buddha, originally Buddha, and become what we are right now. So when we need to practice, we need to reverse, to start from the easy one, how we can adjust the perception of the object from the habitual way to the right way. Okay. Now, so 25 methods to enlightenment. First categories, we deal with 6 objects. And the goal to practice these 6 objects, if you're interested, you can go back to the previous talk. When we deal with how we truly perceive the outside project, the key is always try to see the emptiness of the object. Okay, when you see things, how can you see that things, the emptiness of that thing? When you hear the sound, how can you see the emptiness of the sound? So does same thing apply to the tasting, the sound, what you see, what you hear, what you smell, and all that. 6 methods. And next, but all these are in the true suchness. That's why we can see the emptiness of the 6 objects, right? The next, we deal with the 6 faculties. Of course, Buddha especially take out the ear faculty and elaborate more in a more complete way. And so when we practice with our 6 faculties, the 5 methods always emphasize what is the source, what is the nature of emptiness. For example, why you can see the seeing nature, what is the source for you to be able to see? Okay, so this is the main focus. And the next, deal with the 6 consciousness. Okay, always, okay, you have the seeing ability. And why you discriminate? Can you get to the non-discriminated state? And this practice always focus on the luminosity or purity of your conscious mind. Okay, so that already 16, right? 18 methods. Now, and then you remember the paragraph you deal with, then now we have to deal with 4 elements, from the object, right, to the body, 6 faculties, to the 6 consciousness. Now we have to deal with the 4 elements. Why the 4 elements exist? And here, I just quickly summarize, for example, how can you cultivate the fire elements that you generate from your sexual desire in your mind? Can you turn this fire of sexual desire into the fire of wisdom that shines through the body? So that's just one example. So 4 elements, each element has its special property. Fire is the warmth, the earth is the solid, water is flowing, and wind is shaking, is uncertainty. Okay, so we can contemplate all these elements and then reach the non-dual state of these 4 elements, and then we can, get close to the Buddha, the self true nature. And now we have to deal with the voidness. You see, these 25 methods structured in a way that is actually levels. Even though we say that 25 methods are the same, but deal with the 6 objects is much easier than deal with the 4 elements. Okay, now the emptiness. Remember that chart? We get to the voidness. How this voidness exist. Now we have to contemplate that since the four elements have no essential attributes, then how this voidness exists? And then you have to see through it. And now the consciousness here is different from the first six consciousness. This consciousness is actually deal with the 8th and 7th consciousness. Okay, the sixth consciousness is about our sixth faculty. Here right now is, everything manifests from our 7th and 8th consciousness. Okay, then the last one, our Buddha nature. How can we see our Buddha nature? If you can put aside all these 6 objects, 6 faculties, 6 consciousness, and 4 elements, and subdue your 7th consciousness, then Buddha provided a way, very, very good, wonderful way, that how we recite the Buddha's name to see the Buddha. Okay, so reciting Buddha's name is also very wonderful practice method. It's Pure Land, mainly for the Pure Land, okay, school. So how we chant Amitabha's name so that we can see Buddha. Not just one Buddha, you can see countless Buddhas all at the same time at your will. Okay, so basically, and you finally, see your Buddha nature. So this 25 methods to enlightenment is actually try to reverse, okay, the process why we originally from the fully enlightened Buddha nature, and then we generate the fundamental original ignorance, and then we start to grasp the voidness, the 4 elements, the 6 consciousness, 6 faculties, and the 6 objects. Okay. Now, this sutra should stop here, right? Finish. I tell you what is the self-nature. True nature is Buddha provide the method. But the problem is it's too difficult for us just by practice the method. You see, all of us, we practice with our Shifu or with Fa Si for how many years? What progress have you made? Right? Why you didn't make any progress? You can complain the teacher is not good, master is not right, or the Buddha is not clear about his teaching. But the main problem is also Ananda's question. So Ananda always asks questions for us to help us to practice better. That's what I'm talking about today. What is the 4 definitive instruction on purity in the Śurangama mantra? Okay. Now, Ananda's question, it goes like this. Okay, world honor one. The beings of that time will have become more and more distant from the Buddha, yes. And as many false teachers as there are sand grains in the river Ganges will pretend to teach the Dharma. So should any beings of that time, our time, wish to guard and focus their mind so that they can enter Samadhi, how may I, Ananda himself, how may I guide them towards settling at a place for awakening, where their practice could be secure against demonic disturbance and will not retreat from their resolve to become enlightened? See, Ananda told Buddha, sorry, I'm not enlightened. I'm not yet enlightened, but I am a monk. I need to teach people. And now when the people, at the Buddha's ending age, we are so distant from the Buddha already. And then so many false teachers out there. And problem is Ananda, is not enlightened yet. So how can I guide? How can I give guidance to those disciples that I have, the followers I have, so that they can reach enlightenment? This is also the question for all of the monks and nuns here, or Dharma teachers out there. See, not just that we are not enlightened, but also the problem is so many teachers out there teaching the wrong thing. See, a lot of people come to us like, oh, they learned something from some center. They talk about this and that, and why we teach this and this and that. Why it's different. You have spent a lot of time to explain, you know. So this is also, we need to thank Ananda asked this question, okay? That how the teacher, the right teachers that distant from the Buddha's age and who is not enlightened yet teach people to get enlightened. Okay? Now, Buddha say to Ananda, when I have explained the Vinaya, Sila, or the precepts, you have often heard me speak of the three definitive aspects to cultivation, precepts, or Sila, which required us to guard and focus the mind, basically how we protect our mind and collect our mind, not grasping outside. The second, samadhi, dhyana, which arise from following precepts. When our mind stop grasping outside, make discriminations, then our minds naturally will settle, stay still. That's called samadhi. And when we achieve samadhi, wisdom will naturally be veiled. So that's called a three definitive study. Precepts, samadhi, and wisdom. These are the three practices that end outflow. That means, what is outflow? I mean, when we say something is outflow, I mean there is a hole leaking. So when you practice and there is a hole keep leaking out, your practice power cannot accumulate. Okay, for example, you come here to chant Amitabha all the time, or you come here to practice meditation all the time. But when you go home, you still argue with your family members, and you still like complain a lot of things outside, and you are thinking about your money. You know, when your family members need help, you want to keep the money in for yourself. You don't want to give. Then you practice, right? But your practice is without flow. You accumulate some power here, but you also leak out the merits you accumulated. Then you never reach, you never transcend. Okay, so this is a mundane world here. A lot of things that we don't understand. But Buddha said that if we are trapped in this mundane world, we trap ourselves in this pattern of this mundane world, then we will never get liberation, transcend, and reach the so-called supermundane state, supermundane, okay? And so this is very important when we practice the three practice of precepts, samadhi, and wisdom. We need to be careful. The practice we are working right now is outflow or not outflow. Okay, here. The threefold studies. When it's outflow, we call it conventional or conditioned. When we say it's no outflow, mean it's definitive, it's ultimate, and it's unconditioned. Okay, this is a big topic. A lot of explanation for these two terms, but in general, people will say when this has outflow, means you still have affliction, you still have a defiled mind. Your mind is still defiled. So when we proceed or exercise any practice, this will cause you affliction. Okay, that's called with outflow. And when it's not outflow, means you will not generate any affliction. Okay, but I make things simple. Okay, here because we are talking about the precepts, concentration, and wisdom, right? Now, usually conventional way is we uphold the precepts and then we will enter into samadhi and the wisdom reveal, right? So you have to work on this process. And we talk about precepts. You need to have a value of good and bad, right? The precept means you cannot do the wrong thing. You have to do the good things, right? No killing. You cannot kill people. You cannot kill animals for your own sake, your own benefit. And this is a good thing that you help people. You donate money to those who need help. This is a good thing to do. So when we talk about conventional precepts, means we still have a judgment about good and bad. So we talk about 10 wholesome deeds and 10 unwholesome deeds we need to do, etc. When we talk about samadhi, then there is an in and out. For example, you enter into the first level of samadhi. You enter in, right? And then, probably your power is good. Your samadhi lasts for one day. And then finally, your neighbors, make a big noise and you get out of the samadhi. So there is an in and out. So when you get out of the samadhi, you lose the power of the mind and you get angry and then go argue with the neighbors, right? So, and then you come back, I'm wrong, I repent. And let's collect the mind again and sit. Okay. Enter into samadhi again, right? And first level, second level, you have 8 levels of samadhi you can practice with. Okay, there's in and out. How about wisdom? Wisdom is a big topic. The reason we practice is we want to cultivate wisdom so that we have less afflictions and we can help people more, right? But how you decide it, how you can tell that, how you can have the wisdom to tell that, should I say this to that person that can truly help him? Depends on the causes and consequences, right? But the causes and consequences is defined by you, not by that person. You have self-centeredness. You have a self-view. So you think as a mother that kids need to study hard, need to get a straight A, need to go to Ivy League. They can make a lot of money. They can have a good life. So you try all the way, try to persuade or, lure your kids to study hard. You use your own way, but it's already good enough that you are not, say harsh word to them or, curse them all the time. Now you use your wisdom, try to push your kids to study hard, to, you know, to have a good grade, to apply to a good school. Okay, but does that really guarantee your kids will have a good life? The causes and consequences you see is limited. All of us, the causes and consequences we can see is very limited. The wisdom we have is also limited by the causes and consequences. Okay, so that's just example. I wanted to share with you that what is conventional. You know, there is those conditioned, right? But what is definitive, unconditioned? Okay. The sila, the dhyana, and prajna are one. They are emptiness and no self-based. When it is in accord with emptiness, when you are in state of no self, you will not violate any the precepts. You don't need dhyana. You are always in the dhyana samadhi state. And the wisdom is spontaneously revealed. Okay, you don't have to think. You don't have to watch. You don't have to study. Okay, it's just unconditioned. But how, you see, we are ordinary people. We are still conventional here right now. How can we practice our 3 studies in a way that is toward go to the definitive? And what Buddha is talking right now is talking about the 3 definitive studies. The Buddha is not talking about the conventional here in the Śurangama Sutra. That's the first thing we have to keep in mind. Okay, definitive. Buddha is trying to explain the 3 studies of sila, dhyana, and prajna in a definitive way. Now, the original question from Ananda is, Buddha, I'm not enlightened. So many false teachers out there. How can I, settling, my disciples or students, when Buddha passed away, how can I settle them at a place for awakening? This is the translation I have. The Chinese is An Li Dao Cang, okay? That means you can get awakening there, okay? So in the following content, Buddha explained 3 major things. Try to answer Ananda's question, okay? First is how to prevent new karma. We are born with a lot of karma, right? That's why we are ordinary human beings. Okay, not dog and cats. We are ordinary human beings with a lot of karma that we cannot make enough money always, and we have a bad spouse and bad kids, bad job, all that. That's all because the karma, right? But first thing, very important, how can we prevent new karma? Okay, that Buddha talk about observe the precept with purity, and Buddha talk about the 4 definitive instructions on purity. So how can we keep the precept, observe the precept, so that we will reach the pure state, unconditioned state? Second, how we can uproot innate habits, that the karma we are born with. Okay, for the easy one, we all understand is, why you have 3 kids, and one neighbor like carrot, and one neighbor like banana, and one just like apple. Why they are so different? This is the same gene, And I raise them, I feed them the same thing. Why they originally just like has a preference, and they have different characters when they are baby. The first day they are born, you will see they behave differently. The way they cry, the way they want food, or the way they learn how to walk, all that, okay? It's very hard to cut off, uproot innate habit because we are born to be that way. If we don't overcome this, we have obstacles, big obstacles in practice. Okay, so Buddha told us, if that happened, we have to recite the mantra. Okay, here Buddha provide this. In the beginning, it give a long name, Maha Sittatapatra. Okay, the great white canopy actually is the Śurangama mantra. Okay, in short. And the third is to set up a schedule for awakening. If you really want to get enlightenment, this is very important. You need to set up a schedule. You push yourself to the extreme and try to reach the enlightenment. So here, Buddha talk about how to set a boundary and how to practice continuously for 3 weeks at least, okay? And recite the Śurangama mantra. So right now, like DDRC, we have like 1 week, 7 days retreat, 14 days retreat. Sifu has 21 days, 30 days, 49 days, right? That's the purpose. Set up a schedule, push yourself to practice the method to the extreme and get awakening. Okay, that's how for an enlightened teacher help disciples to get enlightenment. Okay, in Buddha's time, Buddha is so good. Sometimes he just like give you a sentence or say something, you get awakened, right? You get enlightened. There are a lot of sutra talk about how Buddha's disciple get enlightened, right? Sounds very easy, but it's not easy because we are not Buddha. Not a very good teacher, okay? So I will use these 3 parts to explain this chapter, this part of the content, that it's actually very important for all the teachers that you want to help people practice diligently or achieve, or at least overcome their new karma, prevent new karma, and overcome the innate habit. And so it's easier for us to make progress in practice, okay? Now, how to prevent new karma? Are you aware of yourself making new karma every day? Do you? Such as?
I must try my best to prevent that. My mind is also okay, but sometimes, you know, we are just a normal people. So that's the reason I say I just try my best, no matter it is about the body, about our language, or about the man. I just try my best to prevent new karma, and also, of course, every day as a bodhisattva precept holder, I will just repent every day and try my best to observe all the precepts.
So good. You are good practitioners. So you kind of reflect every day, examine our endeavor to see anything you build up a new karma. Okay, it's very subtle, you know. Even though you like coffee, right? And then you go to the coffee shop every day, and you pick the coffee every day, and plus some dessert. You are accumulating your karma. Do you know that? The way you pick your coffee, the way you choose the store, the way that you're craving for dessert to go with the coffee. Okay, so let's see what is, so this part, observe the precept with purity. How can we observe the precept with purity and to prevent the new karma? Buddha talk about this is a very important topic called 4 definitive instructions on purity. There are 4 things when we need to examine every day, every moment, examine ourselves, about the behavior and also the thought. Okay. The first is no new story, you know, no sexual desire. You all take the 5 precepts, right? For lay people, the 5 precepts, the first one is no killing. But here, if we want to attain alignment, the first one is no sexual desire. And it's also the first one for the bhikkhu's precepts. As a bhikkhu, the first precept is not no killing, because ordinary people seldom kill, you know, person is very rare that we will try to kill people, right, for no reason. But sexual desire is this very, very pervasive, okay? Okay, don't claim that you don't have sexual desire, because according to Buddha's explanation, only Arhat has no sexual desire. When you claim you have no sexual desire, does that mean you are Arhat? Why Buddha say that? Only when you transcend, you know, to at least this is a desire realm, right? Desire realm always has sexual desire. Only when you attain Arhat that you don't have sexual desire. So can you feel that? Can you know that sexual desire is so subtle? It's everywhere, but we are not just aware of it. But first, Buddha pointed out, you know, Ananda, you keep asking me, how can we, you know, help people collect one's thought, collect one's mind, not grasping. When we grasp something we like or something we don't like, our mind is not centered. It's spreading out. So for all the practice method, no matter what, the first step is to cultivate concentration, focus mind. Collect your mind from scattered mind. And if living beings in the 6th round has no thought of sexual desire, they would not have to follow a continuous succession of births and deaths. In other words, once we have any type of sexual desire, we are subjected to a continuous succession of birth and death. Your original purpose in cultivating samadhi is to transcend the defiled afflictions. But if you don't renounce your sexual desire or lustful thoughts, you will not be able to transcend the afflictions. All our practice from ordinary position to Buddhahood, this long journey is a journey to terminate, to uproot our afflictions, any type of afflictions. So now, the first for all, Buddha talk about, hey, no thoughts of sexual desire. The first definitive instruction on purity. This sentence means a lot, you know. We can give talks and talks about this sentence, but here, in short, I use the 12 dependent origination cycle to tell you what this sexual desire played in this cycle. Okay. Did you see that craving here? Okay, this craving played a role for continuity and attachment. Okay, once we have a craving, our 6 organs, 6 faculties get in contact with the object and generate some feeling. And then we start to, grasp. When we have the grasping actions, then we create more karma, possession, producing karma. And then we are subject to next rebirth and death, or death and rebirth, okay? And this will continue, and during this life of birth and death, we suffering from our karma that we accumulate in this life and from the past life. And now it's stored in the 8th consciousness, our original ignorance. And when the seeds of ignorance seeds, get activated, our consciousness start to grasp the name and form. So our 7th, 6th, 8th, and 7th consciousness start to divide it into subjectivity and objectivity. And that's how we enter into mother's womb. Our consciousness, driven by our karma, start in sexual desire. Karma and sexual desire. We will find parents who undergoes the sexual activity, and it attract you to enter into the womb, and then you reborn as their kids. So consciousness grabs the name and form. It is desire, sexual desire-based self-view. The self-view. I exist. I wanted to go rebirth. This is a sexual desire-based process. Okay, so see, this sexual desire thought, 12 link played a 2 major part. It reinforced this link, keep running, and we need to cut this cycle, reverse it. The first thing we have to deal with is actually our sexual desire, the thought of sexual desire. And I'm not talking about behavior of sexual desire. I'm talking about the thought of sexual desire. You see, when you watch TV, guys, you will say, oh, this beautiful woman, that's sexual desire. Do you know that? And for ladies, this handsome guy, it's also a very subtle sexual desire. Do you know that? Very subtle. And for even heavenly beings has sexual desire. Just the way how they exercise their sexual desires are different at different levels of being, okay? But I just want to point out that sexual desires is very subtle. It drives us to rebirth again and again, okay? And so, okay. So the problem is, okay, we are ordinary people. Now we die. So our consciousness is still, conscious mind still have sexual desire, and we have a lot of karma carry with us as well. Now, when we die, and we find a parents, or depends on our karma, we might be reborn as a dog, or cats, or ants, or we might go to the ghost realm or something. And that's it, right? The problem is, if you have samadhi power with your sexual desire, oh, that's dangerous. That's what Buddha say here. Even though one may have some wisdom and the manifestation of samadhi, one is certain to enter demonic path if one does not cut off sexual desires. And 3 levels depends on your samadhi power. At best, one will be a demon king. On the average, one will be an ordinary demon. And at the lowest level, one will be a female demon. Okay. That's not talking about the discrimination of gender here. Just like, okay, you know, if we don't cut off the sexual desires and we have some attainment, you know, samadhi attainment, oh, be careful. You might become a demon king, okay, and etc. And these demons also have their own disciples. Everyone will claim to be the unsurpassed weight accomplisher. Means they accomplish, they think they achieve the highest, and they start to have a lot of disciples and followers. The problem is they will guide them fall into the wrong views of attached love and get lost. And all of us, the disciples, will get lost along the bodhisattva path. See, the wrong views of attached love. So here, I'm not going to criticize or argue any sect of traditions, you know, any religious practice or any conventional or unconventional religions or practice traditions. But here, Buddha clearly told us, no matter what, our goal, the first definitive instruction on purity is not even have sexual lustful thought. Get rid of the sexual desire. So if any practice involve and tell you that you need to practice with the other party, and they emphasize the sexual activity, or you have a very, among the teacher and the students, there are some strange feelings, or the teacher manipulated in a way that, the female followers generate some dream with your male teachers, or vice versa, or the same gender, something that you found out you follow this teacher, and in your mind, you start to build up a dream that you want to be together with that person, or you have more lustful thoughts, or there is a strange feelings in between. Hey, watch out. Okay, this is not the right way to go. Okay, because all those demonic demon kings, or those teachers, actually they have some power from samadhi, and they have some wisdom as well. But the bottom line is here. Please keep away from your sexual desire and lustful thoughts. If you practice with that person and your sexual desires get enhanced or encouraged, you need to watch out. You have to be, be careful. Okay, so wrong views of attached love. Wrong view is about the principles. Attached love is to the phenomena. When we talk about wrong views of attached love, it means 2 different things. One aspect is about you don't understand. You have the wrong view about the emptiness. You have the wrong view about the no self. You have the wrong view about the impermanence. So you want to grasp. okay? And you attach to that phenomena as real. That beautiful girl, that sexy dress, that handsome guy, that masculine, that body, that's the phenomena, that's the appearance, and you attach to it, okay? You attach to the phenomena and you misunderstand the true principle. That is a very core problem for all of us, okay? So if you don't get rid of the cut off your sexual desires, lust was thought, Buddha say it's like cooking sands to make rice. Okay, you practice hard, very hard cooking, but you are cooking sand. With lust for thought, you are not rice, you're sand, okay? You keep cooking it, you'll never get rice. Even no matter how high temperature, how long you cook it. Okay, so just keep in mind, you are not sand, you are rice, okay? Otherwise, no matter how long you practice, you never get rice. And second, okay, so the last note, Buddha said that you must purge yourself of the most subtle promptings of sexual desire, both physical and mental, to the point that you have purged even the act of purging. When you try to avoid something, you know it's bad, you try to avoid something, in your mind, you still have the concept of that things. The utmost practice of cut up and uproot something is you don't even have the concept of that thing. You don't need to avoid, you're naturally neutral with that thing. Okay, so this is also very short sentence, but means a lot. First, you know this phenomena is wrong, this behavior is wrong, and then you try to cut it off. But eventually, even the concept that this is wrong, you have to avoid it, you have to depart from it. This dharma also need to be uprooted. Okay, and what I have said is what Buddha teach. Mara, the evil one, teaches otherwise. Clear tell you, if the teaching is not follow this guideline, then it's demonic teaching. Don't follow it. Okay. Now I have to go faster. No, killing is also not talking about just killing itself, that killing people. Here, Buddha more emphasize on eating, not eating. No, don't kill animal to eat their meat. Okay. If living beings in the six realms has no thoughts of killing, they would not have to follow a continuous succession of birth and death. Okay. So here, the same pattern. So if you don't free yourself from thoughts of killing, you will not be able to transcend the affliction. Now, if you cultivate samadhi and you have samadhi, wisdom, you have samadhi power, but you don't remove, you don't cut off the thoughts of killing, you will, what will you do? You will enter the realm of ghosts and deities. Also 3 levels, in which the high rank is attained by the mighty ghost, a lot of power. The middle one is flying yakua, I don't know, it's like the ghost that can fly, okay, in the night. And the low one is earthbound rakuasas. Middle one, they can fly, but the lower one only can walk on the ground. So there are 3 levels of deity and ghost. Okay, so now for all the practitioners, more or less, we will cultivate some wisdom and samadhi, right? But be careful about the killing, the thoughts of killing. Otherwise, easily fall into the realm of ghosts and deity. And the ghosts and spirits also have their own disciples. Everyone will claim to be the unsurpassed way accomplisher. They'll claim that eating meat will not obstruct the path to enlightenment. Okay, it's not like this is a logic analysis here. So you tell people, hey, eating meat has no problem, and it's different from like when you can eat meat or not. Okay, in Buddha's time, the monks and nuns need to eat whatever were offered, right? So people offer you meat, vegetable, rice, you just eat it. But here is talking about don't kill meat, don't kill animals to eat their meat. So the 5 pure meat, there's a lot of story on that. But Buddha did encourage all the precepts Buddha set up is for cultivate compassion. Okay, there is a reason, there is a story that Buddha's disciple get very sick. And so there is a woman asked that disciple, what do you want to eat to recover your health? The disciple say, I want to eat meat. But unfortunately, that specific day is the day that king set up for no meat. So the king say, every month there is a day, nobody can kill, nobody eat meat. Unfortunately, that disciple tell that lady, I wanted to eat meat at that exact day. So she cannot buy meat to offer the disciple, Buddha's disciple. So he cut her own meat, leg, meat, and offer it. And Buddha later on know about this and set up a rule that we don't no meat eating. Okay, but here, if we have cultivate some wisdom and samadhi, and we still have the thought of killing, then we fall into this deity. At the same time, we will encourage people, like, oh, it's okay, you eat me. And Buddha said that it's like you screaming with ears covered and expecting no one is hearing it. It's like you cover your ear, you cannot hear your screaming, and you think that people don't hear either. Why this example? Hey, we are monks and nuns. We should practice compassion, right? But now we eat meat. Can you imagine that monks and nuns eat meat? Here in the temple, every day, people will try to find good meat for us. They will offer, cook good meat to offer everyone. So how many chickens and pigs will get killed? Or, for example, there's 1,000s scaled of a ceremony that we need to offer food to the deity. I guarantee you, it's like, like in Taiwan, in the countryside, the pig, the king of the pig, they kill it. They kill a lot of animals to make offering. Does that in line with the compassion that we cultivate? Right? This screen compassion. Killing animal, and then you think nobody's seeing it. Okay. You see from here, Buddha is truly vegan, vegan people. Okay, so he told his disciple, we practice great compassion, right? We cannot feed with flesh and blood of living beings. Monks we cannot wear silk from the East, whether coarse or fine, and we cannot wear shoes or boots of leather, nor furs, nor birds down from our own country. We have a down jacket, right? And who will not consume milk, curd, and ghee. Is that vegan? Right? No milk, no. Anyway, the important part is if a man can control his body and mind and thereby refrain from eating animals' flesh and wearing animal products, I say he will really be liberated. So here, this paragraph, not just like killing something, even your living style, you avoid the animal products because you want to consume this product, then people will kill for you to make money or please you. So here, the second, no killing. Third one is no stealing. Stealing is also very, if you have thoughts of stealing, you cannot, get out of the succession of birth and death. And here, the first three definitive instruction all talk about, you have to cut off this so that you won't fall into the succession of birth and death, and you otherwise you cannot transcend all the afflictions. But the fourth one is different. Okay, now what would happen if you still have the thought of stealing with some wisdom and samadhi power? You will become, I don't know how to say, spirit elf. Do you know elf? Like a spirit in the forest. They are light and bright and transparent, and they have some activity. Anyway, they also have 3 levels. Okay, so they also have their own disciples, and and if you follow them, okay, the translation I should check. If you follow them, because do you know what is the thought of stealing? You take whatever does not belong to you. Does not belong to you. Okay, most of the people, I will not steal money from your money. I will not steal your car. I will not steal your, possessions. But will you steal people's idea? Will you steal people's credit? Will you steal the time when everybody need to work? 偷心啊，偷时间，偷心。When you need to work 8 hours a day to get your salary, but you kind of play the trick. 1 hour go to drink coffee. The lunchtime, 10 more minutes later, you kind of steal the time a little bit everywhere. You don't work as hard as you can. You get paid, but you steal the time for your own thing when you are in a company. That's also stealing. And also, like 5 of us, right, need to wash 100 ball. Then when we start to wash the ball, right, the volunteer wash the ball, then now you say, I want to go to the restaurant for 10 minutes. You come back, people wash 50 already, right? And next, I go answer the phone, keep on talking, chatting with friends. You come back, 10 balls left. And then finally you wash 1 ball. The other 4 people wash 99 balls. It's also stealing, you know. And also, how about you steal the resource of the human power of the donors? You know, Shifu once told us that he himself will not 挖人家墙角怎么讲? So like we have a lot of we have a lot of temple, right? Some people will come here and watch. Oh, these people has money. These people has time. Now, then approach them. You know, for Guansang is also good. Ciji is also good. You know, and take that person to the other temple, donate money, do volunteers, and they try to identify good people and convince them to other. Do you think it's a stealing? Sifu say, you can come to my temple, steal my people, steal my resource, but I would never do likewise. Sifu followed the precept in very subtle way. He never, you know, he even go to the public talk. He would never convince people, oh, drop your teacher, come to learn with me. Sifu never done that. Okay, so it's also type of stealing. Do you know that? You follow this teacher, that's good, but don't go to other temple and try to identify good person and drag them here. We don't encourage people to do that here either. We are fine with our members here. We don't need other temples, big donors. Okay, and don't try to convince other supporter, the other centers supporter to support us, because they've already learning the Buddha somewhere. That's good. We should praise them and don't do this kind of things. This is also a stealing. So stealing is very subtle, you know. It's all kinds of things we are committed stealing. Your parents give you money to study. You just don't study. You waste parents' money. It's also stealing, you know. I give you the money to study, and you just drop school to have fun. It's very subtle, okay? If you follow this teacher, they will find lots of ways to convince you to donate all your money to that teacher. Okay. Anyway, this is Buddha say, if you practice and you don't cut off your thoughts of stealing, it's like filling a leaking bucket. You're doing a lot of merits, right? And through stealing, your merits leak out. You never fill the bucket. Okay. Now, so that's why. See why in Buddha's time, Buddha's always bhikkhus beg for alms, beg for food, so that they can overcome cupidity and realize Bodhi. You see, if I only eat a bowl of rice, but I ask for 2, that's also stealing. It's craving plus stealing. Because you know, do you know what I mean? Because you can give me a bowl of rice a day, but now I ask for 2. I steal 1 bowl of rice from you. And on top of that, if we want to really get rid of the thought of stealing, not just like we don't take people from us, we give away our own possessions. Because the why we steal, because we feel that we don't have enough, and we find a way to get more. Okay, now we have to practice the other way. I have enough. I take exactly what I need. On top of that, I keep telling, I have enough. I have enough. I can give away. Even the body, the bones, and the blood, I can also give away. This is a very, very high practice, you know. In the Hawaiian Sutra, a lot of chapters talk about that. You give your head, your marrow, your bone, your blood to people who need it. It's really hard to understand the true, you know, the subtle meaning of this type of practice. But if you can give away your body and mind, you don't care about your emotion. You don't care about how people hurt your mind. You drop the attachment to the body and mind. That's the time when we see the true nature. Because remember that why we are trapped in this Saha world, because we attach to the concept of body and mind. Remember the 4 elements created our body, and this body, the 6 faculty, grasps the things outside and interact your 6 consciousness inside, and that's our mind. We attach to this body and mind, we will never get liberated. Through this practice, give away. I can give you whatever you need, eyes, you need bone, you need blood, take it. And also, my mind don't move at all. When you said bad things to me, when you're cheating on me, when you set me up, when you try to kill me, my mind is not moving. I don't care about my feeling, my emotion, okay? Anyway, very difficult. So the 4th one is no lying. Now it's different, okay? Ananda, being in this world, 6 realms, may be entirely free in body and in mind of killing, stealing, and sexual desire. You accomplish the three instructions, the previous, the 3 instructions. But if they make false claim about their achievement, their samadhi will not be pure. So for example, you are very diligent practitioner, you can cut off your sexual desire, you can cut off the thoughts of killing, you can cut off the thoughts of stealing. Wow. You must attain certain high level of samadhi already. But the problem is, if you think that you have already achieved the highest and you claim that I have attained Buddhahood, you make the false claim about your attainment while you are not really attained the Buddhahood. That is really, really dangerous. You lost the ground to attain Buddhahood because you think the level you attain is truly Buddhahood, while it's not. So this is the ground of Buddhahood, but you think this ground is Buddhahood. So you lose the ground of this Buddhahood. You never work harder. You lost the right view about Buddhahood. Then that's really, really also really bad. Okay, so no lying is about your attainment. For example, for ordinary teacher, okay, if I want to earn more respect from you, then I will keep talking about, some retreat. Oh, I enter into a state of blah, 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 something that you don't understand, something that you sound dramatic. Then you respect, wow, this is a good teacher. This is a high-tea practitioner, right? Then I am lying. I'm exercise the thought of lying, because the reason I tell you has my selfish purpose. So Buddha said that Buddha command all his disciples. You cannot, even though you are, first of all, you attain bodhisattva and arhatship. You can manifest as different type of being. For example, you can be a monk, lay disciple, prince, minister, boys, girls, and even prostitutes, widows, to do what? To working side by side with these people in order to lead them to enter samadhi. Okay, so, but the bodhisattva never dig out the esoteric teachings and speak casually to beginners, saying that, hey, I am the 8th Muni Bodhisattva. I'm first Muni Bodhisattva. And I'm actually an Arhat. You know that? Buddha said, oh, my disciple, you cannot say that. Even though Buddha or your teacher certify that your attainment is really high, you cannot tell people unless only when they are about to die. They can tell their disciples who is about to take their will. For example, maybe some master attain arhatship, but he always will claim that, oh, not arhat. Sometimes he will pretend stupid, and very lax way. Oh, I'm not arhat. But when he is about to die, he will tell his appointed successor disciple about his attainment and what he should do after he died. That's what Buddha said. Okay, so all of us we're not committed to lying, claim that, well, I'm so and so, because you never know. You have some great attainment, that's great, but sorry, you are not there yet. You're probably in the middle. If you claim that you attain, I have to see my true nature, a certain level of the Muni, you generate what? Arrogance. And you'll never make progress after that. Because you think you are the highest already. Okay. So here, Buddha said that if you claimed the attainment that you are not really attained, it's like molding the pool. Looks like the sandalwood. It's just English, right? You use poop, you're molding in like a sandalwood, and you expect that it will generate sandal sense. Sandalwood has the sandal sense, right? But you use the pool. You use your levels of attainment to pretend it's a Buddhahood, and you think that, well, you will you reveal the true wisdom of the Buddha? No. Okay. So what should we do? Monks whose minds are as straight as lute springs and who are entirely genuine and truthful will never encounter demons when they enter samadhi. So it's actually very dangerous when we enter samadhi. Different levels of samadhi, if we don't observe the precepts, the pure precepts, and we don't have the right view, the highest samadhi you attain, the more dangerous you will become, you will enter into the demonic state. So you really need to have a good teacher, good experienced teacher to guide you. Okay. Now, anyway, please look at the last sentence. Ananda, if someone faithfully follow the 4 instructions on purity, his or her mind would not be grasping sights, sounds, odors, flavors, tangible objects, or objects of cognition. How could anything demonic happen to that person? If we can follow these 4 definitive instructions on purity, then our mind will naturally collect it and not grasping the 6 objects. And then it's safe that way. Okay. Now, 3 minutes left. The following is more detailed about the next one. The second part is how to uproot innate habitual tendency and affinity. Buddha say, recite the mantra. Okay, any type of mantra is what is also good, but in the Śurangama Sutra, Buddha talk about a Śurangama mantra. Now, you see in the beginning of the sutra, what happened to Ananda? There's a woman, right? Wanted to marry Ananda. So her mother do something, and then Ananda almost break the precepts, almost, because he cannot control his body at that time. So he almost break the precept of no sexual conduct. And then Buddha sent Manjushri to rescue Ananda with the Śurangama mantra. Okay, so because Buddha said that you and that young woman developed affinity with each other, which lead to habits of love and devotions. It has not been for one lifetime only, nor even for one aeons only. It's aeons after aeons. Yet hearing, even though this kind of habits that we cultivate eons after eons, that use the mantra, this mantra can help that woman, which has a strong sexual desire with Ananda, free, liberate, attain arhatship. So I cannot emphasize enough about the power of mantra. So different sutra will offer different mantra. That's esoteric guidance, that when you cannot overcome the difficulties from inside or outside, you have no future, you dead end, you want to kill yourself, recite the mantra. Recite the mantra. When you almost break your precept, recite the mantra. Okay, so that's the way Buddha provides to overcome the innate habitual affinity. Now, okay, set up a schedule for awakening. basically, we need to set up the boundaries and practice continuously. Okay, we have to observe the pure precept in the beginning. So, for example, you go to the retreat, you gotta practice, uphold your 5 precepts, okay? And then you have to find a good teacher who also observe pure precepts. Otherwise, this retreat will not work out, okay? Secondly, set up a boundary. And I found out burning incense is a very important part. And the incense with different herbs and flavors and scent has its power to protect us. And that's a long story, but setting a boundary is also very important. So the Dharma deity will protect us. The demons will not get in, okay? So we are secured. And then how to practice continuously. First, we have to pray, inviting all the Supreme Buddhas throughout the 10 directions and to emit the compassionate light from their lens and empower us by transmitting the light to our heads. Okay, empowerment from the Buddha. And then also we make vows. Vow to observe all rules of conduct, vow to practice and cultivate all virtuous deed, and vow to benefit all sentient beings. That's the Bodhisattva vows, okay? And then there are 3 7 days. We have to continuously practice for 3 7 days. The first 7 days, we have to sincerely prostrate to the Buddhas. And throughout the day, we have to 6 periods of time, we have to recite the Śurangama Sutra mantra 108 times each section. So there are 6 sections, right? One section, 108 times. Do you know how long the mantra is? Very long. So you have to memorize it and continuously, without distraction, chanting the mantra 108 times in one section, okay? And then the second 7 days, we have to wholeheartedly, sincerely make our vow. I think that without stopping, okay? That is the reason. Sometimes when we participate a long retreat, especially more than 14 days or 30 days, it will be a certain state that your practice become bored. You become like cold stone. You mechanically repeat without enthusiasm. So the second period of 7 days, we need to initiate our body vows. And then the third 7 days, keep chanting the mantra all day without sleeping. Okay. And then Buddha will show up to empower you again. Then if, okay, I've got 1 minute to finish. If the precept masters or any members of the group is not pure, this practice, the group practice in that place of awakening is unlikely to be successful because something will happen to that person. Okay, then everybody got disturbed. So it's better that this group is small and precept master and all the members, monks and lay, got to be pure when they uphold the pure precepts. And if after 3 weeks, those with sharp and deep capacity root can continue to sit for 100 days without getting up, cross your legs, sit upright for 100 days. And that person will, with the sharp capacity, will eventually attain arhatship at the first stage. Not the final arhatship yet, okay? So practice is a long journey, and setting the time, setting a place for awakening, intensive practice and practice continuously is very important for all the practitioners. Usually we would do once or twice in a year at least. Okay, that would be helpful. All right, finish. This is the mantra, very long. 5 chapters, 425, 7 verses, 2,620 words in Chinese. So it's a very long mantra, the longest mantra for Buddhist practice. So memorize it is also very difficult. Okay. Now, sorry, 5 minutes over time. No question. Maybe next time. And so thank you for your attention. We need to finish by verses on merit transfer. So please join palms. May the virtuous merits adorn and glorify the pure lands of the Buddhas. Upwardly, we repay the 4 layers of gratitude. Downwardly, we alleviate the sufferings of the 3 destinies. May those who see and hear the Dharma generate Bodhi mind. Exhausting this body of retribution, may we be reborn in the land of supreme bliss.